I was on deployment when the video call connected. The call connected, and the nurse's face appeared, pale, tired, rehearsed. "Your daughter is here, sir." Behind her, I saw the fragile frame of my little girl. Bandaged, fragile, broken in ways children are not supposed to be. She looked up at the screen, eyes wet, and the sound that left her throat was not the sound of a child. It was the sound of something stolen. "Daddy," her lip trembled. "Mom's friend. He made me call him Dad. When I said no, he pushed me down the stairs." The words froze everything inside me. The nurse leaned in, whispered, words no man should hear while deployed thousands of miles from his family. "He's down the hall, with your wife." My commanding officer didn't ask questions. Emergency leave was granted before I finished the explanation. They knew what I was capable of, and now I was going home. Not for family, not for reconciliation, for truth, for revenge. The flight home was silent. My body sat rigid in the seat, but my mind replayed every moment I had ignored. The calls that ended abruptly when I joined. The subtle shift in her voice when I mentioned extending my deployment. The way my daughter once slipped and called him uncle instead of mom's friend. I had buried the unease beneath loyalty, beneath trust. A soldier cannot fight two wars at once. But now I realized the front lines had always been closer, inside my own house. Infidelity is not just flesh, it's erosion. It starts in whispers, hidden glances, late-night excuses, and then it grows. By the time you see it, the foundation is already gone. I thought of her hand in mine the day I left, the staged tears, the promise she'd keep the home standing. All theater. Meanwhile, another man stood in my daughter's home, at my table, within reach of her innocence. The betrayal wasn't hers alone. It was mine, for letting myself believe. The plane touched down. My jaw locked. My chest burned. But my face? Calm. Always calm. The house looked smaller than I remembered. Or maybe I had grown colder. I didn't knock. I didn't announce myself. Soldiers don't return like guests. I entered as though it was still mine, because it was. Her laughter carried from the kitchen. His voice followed, low, familiar in tone, but not in right. The sound of him there was wrong, a foreign presence in a place built by my sacrifice. I didn't enter, not yet. I watched, listened, counted the seconds between their touches, the softness in their voices. Every detail logged like intelligence in hostile territory. Later, when she left for work, I searched, not like a man in rage, but like an investigator, careful, meticulous. Phone records, receipts, photos tucked in drawers where they thought memory would keep them safe. Each one a nail hammered into the coffin of my former life. But I needed more. Proof undeniable. Not for me, I already knew. For her, for him, for the moment when silence would crush them both. I arranged the DNA test, quietly, a sample from my daughter, a piece of me. Waiting was the hardest part. Pretending, even harder. Smiling in her face when she greeted me, feigning surprise at my early return. Hugging my daughter tighter, longer, breathing in her trust as if it could shield me from the storm. But inside, I was counting down. Each day closer to the moment they'd see themselves through my eyes. The envelope arrived, plain, ordinary, the kind of thing anyone could throw away without a second thought. But inside, clarity. I read the line twice, then again. My daughter was mine. Unquestionably, irrevocably mine. Which meant his violence wasn't possession. It was desperation. He had tried to steal what he could never own. The truth was sharper than rage. It was pure, surgical. That night, I placed the envelope on the kitchen table. She came in, humming, expecting the life she thought she had built to keep breathing in secret. Her eyes fell on the letter, her smile fractured. "What's this?" she asked. I didn't answer. I watched her read, watched the blood drain from her face. Then, softly, I asked the only question that mattered. Why was he with her? Her lips parted, excuses spilled, shaking, incoherent, the stammer of someone caught without cover. Tears formed, but my silence devoured them. She broke, and I stayed whole. I didn't raise my voice, didn't curse, didn't strike. Instead, I laid out every piece of evidence like cards on a table: photos, calls, receipts, the test results that proved her excuses were nothing but smoke. Her tears turned frantic. She begged, swore it wasn't what it looked like, swore she loved me, swore it was temporary. But I didn't need her words anymore. Words were her weapon. Silence was mine. When he arrived, smirking, comfortable, certain of his place, I simply handed him the photos. Watched the smirk collapse into something smaller, weaker. He tried to speak, but I cut him off with 3 words: calm, precise, get out, now. The authority in my tone was not negotiable. It was military. It was absolute. He left. And for her, I gave no punishment but the one she feared most: being seen for what she truly was: a liar, a betrayer, a mother who failed her child. I didn't shout, I didn't threaten, I walked away. I took my daughter's hand, we left the house without looking back. The silence in the car was heavy, but not suffocating. For the first time, it was honest. She asked me if we'd be okay. I told her yes. Not because I believed in hope, but because I believed in truth. The war at home was over. Not with explosions, not with blood, but with clarity. Some battles are won not by destroying your enemy, but by leaving them to live with themselves. As we drove away, I didn't think of her, or him, only of the line that would define the rest of my life. I no longer belonged to betrayal. It belonged to them, forever.